Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to this Nightbird video. We got so much to go through and actually we're going to try something a little bit different. I've reached out to you guys and said, look, I know I'm struggling to get to everyone's thoughts and theories, so let's try something different. Here is a post that I'm going to put up on my account, my Twitter account, and I want you to put your biggest thought, your biggest theory in this thread, and we're going to go through it, right? Now, I have scanned through, and what I've tried to do is pick out the theories, right? I've tried to pick out, like, the key theories, and we're going to look at those in this video. There's loads of other things, though, that are more thoughts and opinions, right? Which I don't think fit into this series, but they will fit into an opinions video. So I think what we're actually going to do is 2 videos. We're going to do one on this channel where we look at the theory, and then I'll put another one on my second channel, and that's where we'll go into the opinions of Nightbird, right? So 2 videos, hopefully dropping tonight, right? So content on the way. Very good. So let's start, shall we? We're going to look at the more theory side of things here. So here, look, we've got Raven. Raven got in touch with me and tagged Alexa. Obviously, Alexa put a tweet out the other day, and that tweet said, I don't know her. Right? And she was obviously talking about this person backstage. So Alexa distanced herself from this person, saying, I don't know who that is. I don't know her, right? Well, Raven had a theory. Raven said, I think you'll find that Bray and The Fiend is a split personality. So technically, no, Alexa doesn't know her, right? So that was Raven's theory. Alexa, the real Alexa, not a fake Alexa, but the real Alexa that has 2 million followers, right? The real Alexa responded to this about 4 hours ago and said, lol, no. I meant literally, I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. Cool concept, though. So Alexa giving props to Raven for thinking outside of the box. But Alexa going, no, I need to make this clear. I don't know who this is, right? So I'm kind of believing Alexa here, right? Sometimes I can be a bit too trusting. But I am going to go with her on this, that this was not her. I have also been told, and I haven't had a chance to watch it today, but Tom Colahue, who I think is very good, right? He's done his stream, and he has also said that Alexa was not backstage. So everything seems to be pointing towards this not being Alexa, right? So right now, I'm under the impression this was a real good lookalike. I don't think they brought in a lookalike. I just think there was someone around that just happened to look a lot like her, and it's obviously gone crazy on the internet, right? So I'm believing Alexa. Maybe you don't. Maybe you do. But either way, that's where we are with that. Right, Magpie Phoenix said, I was just watching your Tuesday Nightbird video. During the replay, my closed captioning picked this up, right? So apparently, I see you hurting. Listen to me. So I've got it queued up, actually. So for those that didn't watch our Tuesday Nightbird video, shame on you. Yeah, shame on you. Dare to show your face round here now, do you? Now, if you didn't catch it, there is part of an older QR code, the one from Saturday, where, you know, the guys play in 2K24. There's a bit that's got like an audio, what sounds like someone speaking. It's really easy to miss, but we've picked up on it, but we just can't quite make out what it says. So I've got it here. I'm going to play it again for you, and you have to see what you think. So again, you can just make out that I see you talking to me, waiting for me, or something along those lines. But how interesting that apparently closed captioning has picked it up. Let's try it again. Really hard to pick up, man. Really, really hard to pick up. But this is where Magpie Phoenix says, I think it's I see you hurting. Listen to me. And if that's true, that's going to really, really blow things apart, isn't it? If Uncle Howdy arrived in that house, not so much to terrify this guy, but to maybe reach out an olive branch and say, I can see you're hurting. Listen to me, right? If he was there for good purposes rather than evil purposes, that might change our way of thinking. So I can't say that that's what is said. I can hear the same thing you can hear. I think it's very hard to tell, but that caught my attention, man. I thought that was very interesting. Moving on, we got this from Ads, who used a color generator to find some hidden words. I think the hidden words are quite easy to see. Maybe not easy to work out what everything says. This is hello. I think that's I set them free. You can see it at the bottom there, and I think that's just repeated there. This is the one that I'm struggling with. I think it says he accepted us, maybe something like that. We accepted him, or I don't know. I'm struggling a bit with this bit. I'm sure they're just phrases that we've seen before, but I have retweeted this out because I think that there is a chance that there's the odd thing that could still be hidden around. I mean, I can see that, I can see that, I can see that, I can see that. I don't know if there's something here, for example. There could be the odd little bits dotted around, but this shirt just continues to intrigue. People are asking, like, what's the outline of this person? And I have mentioned it in other videos. It's worth mentioning again here. I do remember there being an illustration. I think it was the very first, one of the very first images that we saw in Nightbirds was of someone looking at a wall, right? And there was a flame behind, and there was a projection, right? Obviously, we know that that led us to the cave, of course, and the cave story. But I don't think we knew about that at the time, or we were in the process of discovering about that story, right? Is it the allegory of the cave, right? And I feel like this is the picture that's based on that. I feel like this is the silhouette that we saw in that illustration, one of the very first images that we saw with this Nightbird campaign in the QR codes. So I think it's that. And then, obviously, all the words are key phrases. What really interests us is this water fountain, because we think this is Corpus Christi. We think this is right outside the arena, the same arena that Raw is going to be in on June 17th. And if that is the case, then how cool, man, because this shirt has been around for about a week or so now, I think, since we first saw it. And imagine if they're telling us where the group's going to debut, and they've been not only telling us, but showing us where the group's going to debut for the past week or so. It's here. It's Corpus Christi. It's Raw on June 17th. So I do love that theory. I really love that theory. So, yeah, this is obviously a shirt that continues to intrigue. Here's Taming Pasta, and if you do join us on our live streams, our watch-alongs, you'll know that Taming Pasta always coming out with really great thoughts. Well, Taming Pasta said maybe it's time to make use of this. This was Jason Baker. He's the guy that makes a lot of the costumes and the masks, and he said this is one of the most favorite masks that I've ever done. And here, look, you can see an amazing mask. This sheep's mask with animatronics. Looks absolutely brilliant. Looks absolutely brilliant. So that's a mask that was created for Rowan, but was never actually used on TV. And as Taming Pasta says, maybe this is one that we use now. Apparently, Rowan has got loads of sheep's masks that we've not seen. He showed one, didn't he, the other day when he did that cameo, and he put that mask on, and it had the eyes light up, and that created a buzz online. So I really don't know what to expect mask-wise from a returning Rowan, but what I do know is there's some pretty fun stuff out there, and I'm sure it's going to be something very special. Then we got this from Kelly. Says, I wanted to point something out. I've not seen anyone else talk about this, but if you look at the mirror, the shelves are different, even from the very first therapy video. So let's go full screen on this. I really like this, right? So you might remember the Twitch stream that had the therapist, the hour-long Twitch stream. You could see in the reflection, and it wasn't this. So it is different. So it is well noticed. The only thing I'm going to say is this is lower and it's a bit more over to the side, right? So I think that we're actually looking at this from a different perspective now. And so that might explain why we're getting a different image in the mirror, because we're a bit more over and we're a little bit lower. And I think we're probably angled up as well. So if we've moved over like that, then that would explain why this has obviously changed. It's hard to know exactly what we're being shown. And to be honest with you, are we being shown these things for a reason? That's why I wanted to include this. I think this room is a bit weird in the sense of this wall that the mirror is on. I don't know that it's perfectly straight like that. It may be slightly angled, right? I think it's probably more angled this way, to be honest. So this wall is probably slightly angled like that. And then this side wall that the bookcase is on may be straight, but that might also be slightly angled. I don't think this room is a perfect rectangular shape. I think that we've got a few different sort of perspectives going on, and I think the walls are a little bit off. Not that that's anything that we need to really focus on, but I think it may explain why the mirror is maybe reflecting things that we wouldn't quite expect. It's hard to tell, to be honest. It is hard to tell. I mean, again, we don't quite know the distance from that to the wall. Like, I don't know that it looks like it's right up against the wall, but there could be quite a bit of wall here, for example. This line here might be the corner of the room. So again, that kind of changes things. It looks like this bookcase goes to the wall and then this is the wall, doesn't it? It kind of looks like that could be the end, but it might actually be somewhere back here. This could be the corner. And then, it's just throwing everything out. So it's really hard to know. I mean, it could be that they've put green paper on this and they are green screening it, right? That absolutely could be a possibility. And we definitely need to be paying attention to this. But equally, I'm still not 100% sold that it's not just a perspective thing. But either way, love it. Love that we're looking into these things. We do have a close-up of it here, and it is sort of showing us a few bits in the room that we've not seen already. Could there be some interesting clues or things here that they are making sure that we see? Could there be some things here that they want us to notice? I love the thought. That's why I included it. And a big shout out to Kelly, who I think asking some important questions, so I do like that. So those are a few important things. If we go over to my account, this is my Twitter account, Wrestling Daze YT, right? And this is where I put I think I found the bride, said Anthony. I responded to that. I was like, nah, that was just me going to Taco Bell the other night. So there we go. Here as well, Anarchy Creations said, I've managed to make it clearer. And I said, confession time. It was me. So there we go. A lot of people thinking it was actually Alexa that was backstage. Once you actually run it through like an AI image defilter, right, and actually clean it up, it is confession time. It was me that was backstage. People changing their profile pictures over to the therapist, like WWE Ethan as well. Just, there's a lot of fun stuff going on at the moment. This as well. This was good. It's Bryn again. Can we play it? It is quite fun.
Thank you to everybody who...
No! Missing woman found safe after extensive search. No! No! Oh! I wanted her to die. Oh! Oh, she's safe. Oh, no. I was hoping we'd find the corpse. Oh, I hate Nightbird now. She's safe. Oh.
Disappointing.
Come on, Howdy. You meant to be like spooky, not saving women.
I love the emotional music, the tear running down the face of Howdy as well. Brilliant. It's Bryn again, just brilliant, mate. Brilliant. Date night. Rolando. Do you know, I do have a folder, you know, of just fun Nightbird stuff. All these kind of memes and things that people have created. So we can definitely do a fun Nightbird video as well with just like loads of fun memes and stuff. So if you do have anything like that you want to tag me in it. I'll chuck it in that folder. We'll do a fun Nightbird video. Anyway, I don't even know where this thing was. Here it is. This is what I'm after. So, right, feedback required. What is your top Nightbird thought or theory that you don't think has yet been highlighted? I'm looking for those that I've not got to yet because I know I'm not getting to these. And it's not for the want of trying. I spent like 6 hours the other day. And I only managed to get through the past 8 hours of stuff in my notifications. So 6 hours got me 8 hours through my notifications. That means anything that got sent 9 hours ago, 10 hours ago, 11 hours ago, I couldn't get to it. There's starting to be not enough hours in the day. So I've said before, feel free, don't get frustrated. Well, I'm sure you might be getting frustrated, but it's nothing personal. Feel free to just keep re-tagging me and stuff. And then hopefully eventually I'll get to it. But it dawned on me, why don't everyone just put their thoughts in here? Do you know what I mean? Rather than them all being like hidden around and I've got to go through my notifications and I've got people talking about lots of different things. Why don't we just gather it all together in this post, which I think was a genius idea, to be honest. So I quickly went through the post, liked the ones that I thought best fitted this video. And as I said, my plan is anything that I didn't like in this video, didn't leave a like for, we'll do a separate video on the second channel. Right, so with that being said, let's go down. We had, I think, did we have like 80 responses or something like that? We had a lot of responses. Right, show more replies. Here we go. So, CLEWWE said, I think the eventual target for the group will be Cody, and their mission will be to destroy Cody. So I'm guessing that's because of this. So it is just worth knowing, for those that didn't know, that Cody was Bray, or Husky Harris's, pro when he was a rookie in NXT. Before NXT was its own promotion, it was a bit like a game show. You had wrestlers competing against each other to win the series, right? And they would have matches and they would do challenges, and you know, they got a pro assigned to them to give them advice. So Cody was the pro, Husky Harris was the rookie. And Bray, or Husky, sort of blamed Cody for him not doing better in that season. And he felt let down by Cody. I think he did eventually forgive him. And it is also worth pointing out that because Husky Harris didn't really succeed, Bray had to go back to NXT and become Bray. So if Husky had actually worked, we may never have got Bray. We may never have got all of this because, you know, he may have been Husky Harris and he may have gone on to have a very different career. So as much as we can blame Cody, we could probably also thank Cody because this didn't work. And as a result, we ended up getting Bray Wyatt. I think that the big ultimate enemy is going to be Randy Orton. It has to be. Because Randy Orton is the one that took the title off Bray at WrestleMania 33. He's the one that beat Bray again at WrestleMania. I think was that Bray's last WrestleMania 37. right? We got like lots of moments, obviously, with Bray that involve Randy, like the burning of the Wyatt compound. He obviously destroyed Sister Abigail. So for me, Orton has got to be the end goal if we're going to go down that path. But there is an interesting point later where it's mentioned, I think people have got it wrong. What if this group isn't about revenge? Because there's not so much in the QR codes pointing to, say, Randy Orton. There's not so much about coming for revenge. It's more about helping those that are lost. It's more about helping Nikki Cross and helping Joe Gacy and bringing Erick Rowan back. That's what the QR code's been about. It's not been so much about revenge and about avenging those that wronged Bray. Maybe it will move on to that, but it hasn't really shown itself to be that at the moment. All of these that I've not put lights on, they just seem to be more to do with opinions and thoughts rather than theories. But I've got a few that stood out to me that I've left likes on. So here's Anthony. He says, Uncle Howdy set the therapist free while she's been gone. The way she smiled at the end of the video, and then Uncle Howdy moves from the mirror to her chair in video 2, symbolically shows us that he controls her. The therapist's blank stare is very similar to Nikki's stare on TV. So is the therapist under the spell, under control of Bray and Uncle Howdy and Bo and that world? I feel like Bray does still have a presence. I feel like he still has an influence. I don't know. I don't know if she's under his spell. Maybe it is Howdy's spell. But then whose spell was Nikki Cross under when she was like walking around? Like, was she under Bray's spell then? Was she under Bo's spell? Was she under Uncle Howdy's spell? Don't know. I don't know. But interesting thought that the therapist has changed. It was a spooky smile at the end. David said, my theory behind 11 and 19, 2011 was the end of us Husky Harris and the beginning of our first version of Bray. 2019 would be the beginning of Funhouse Bray. They were 2 important years for the evolution of Bray. So there we go. So we're thinking, or David's thinking, 2011, 2019, the arrival of Bray Wyatt, the birth of Bray Wyatt, and the arrival of the Firefly Funhouse, which would be 2 important years for Bray. So I really like that from David's. Good thought. P. Stewart said, the fountain in Corpus Christi, which is beside the venue, I think they could use that as a teaser introduction before the reveal, with the fountain lights being red. Goods. Nathan said the she that possibly includes Alexa Bliss and the door may not be a door to her dark side, remember who you are, but a door back to WWE. Also, Alexa is already with Howdy. I remember if all 4 of the new people join in, they may be brainwashed by the therapist. So you're thinking, so the theory from Nathan here is that the door that keeps, I can open the door, but she's got to walk through it. That might be a door back to WWE, right? Rather than her embracing her darker side. So it's a thought, right? It's a thought. I think it's more to do with them going and embracing who they really are. Remember who you are. Remember who you really are. I think it's probably that, but I can see where you're coming from. I do like this, though, because this is Nathan saying maybe they've taken the therapist because they need the therapist to continue to help brainwash those other members, those members at the moment, they've just got an invitation. Now, if they go along to see what this is about, maybe they need the therapist to just do a little bit of convincing. I kind of like that. It explains why we have taken the therapist and what the need for her was. Because there was a bit of the therapy session where she asked the question, what can I help you with? What can I do? And the response was, just watch and wait. So it does feel like she has a reason. It does feel like she does serve a purpose. Just don't know what that purpose is. But I like that from Nathan. Ben said, I always thought that the names of the journals could be what Howdy will call his followers. So Nikki Cross as Hex. So you might remember, I mean, I think I've got them here. If I go down and go full screen here, we've got what the first one was Hex, second one was Truncheon, third one was Prey, and the fourth one was Spark. I mean, for me personally, they're not names that I would go with. I don't think that Truncheon is a good name for a wrestler. That just doesn't strike me. Hex, I think, is fine. Prey, I'm not sure. Spark is a little bit Butch to me, you know, like when Pete Dunne became Butch. So I don't know. There is also the theory that this actually connects to the puppets. So, for example, Hex is Abby the Witch. Hex, Witch. Truncheon is Authority, and that was Mercy. You know, Mercy would be, you know, talking to the point. You didn't really get anything cryptic from Mercy. He was the Authority. You know, he was the one that kind of kept everyone in line. You might remember at one point he ate Ramblin' Rabbit as well. So that's Truncheon. 3 is Prey. So that would be Ramblin' Rabbit, right? Who was always like the victim. And then Spark would be Huskus. And I'm not sure quite how that works, other than Huskus the Pig Boy is Husky Harris. It's based on Husky Harris. And that was the spark that led to everything that followed. As we said, Huskus was the first character that Bray had, and what followed, of course, was then Bray Wyatt and everything else. So in many ways, that was the spark. That was the thing that ignited everything. So you could sort of see a connection there. But yeah, I don't know about them as names personally. But just because it's not a direction that I would necessarily go, doesn't mean it's not a direction that WWE won't go. So it could be. It could be. I do like Hex. I agree with you on that one. Right, Firefly Forever said, I feel a great deviation between what I felt about the original story in Bray's last run and fans' speculation for this Nightbird story. This is because most of the future plans and theories from fans are around revenge. But in Bray's narrative, he went forwards with new foes. I really like this. Because it is true. A lot of people are talking about, well, he's got to go after Randy. He's got to go after Cody. He's got to go after Chad Gable, right? All these people that have had an effect on Bray in the past and have done things to Bray in the past. Chad Gable, part of Alpha Academy, they beat Bray for the tag belts, right? So there's lots of thoughts along those lines of linking it to the past. I really like this from Firefly Forever, who's saying that's not what Bray was doing before. He was feuding with LA Knight. He was moving on to a feud with Bobby Lashley. Like, he was moving forward with new feuds. And I'm sure we would have got to say the Randy feud again eventually. I'm sure their paths would have crossed eventually. But this whole thing, it doesn't need to be about revenge. It doesn't need to be about that. We're trying to figure out what this is about. And actually, it might be about giving Nikki Cross a purpose. It might be about giving Dexter Lumis a purpose. It might be about giving Erick Rowan a purpose. And it might be about bringing forward those characters that we didn't get to see last time. So I do like that. I do like that. Revenge is certainly an aspect that can be brought in, but it shouldn't be the be-all and end-all. I do agree. Colin said, I was thinking about the left-handed thing. It might mean nothing, but when the Fiend wore gloves that said hurt and heal, the left one was heal. Why is that? That might be why the person is writing with their left hand, because they're using the heel hand and they're writing letters. to try and heal people they think are broken. I really like that, Colin. I think that's really good. C121S said Nightbird was planned way before. There were characters like White Rabbit that we never saw. Maybe they planned to debut as Nightbird, but as we know, Bray passed away. So yeah, we are seeing a continuation of Bray's story. So there is going to be stuff in here that we never quite got to last time. Don't know. This is what is a bit difficult because I don't know what's Bray's and what has been created for the sake of it. Because I don't know if Bray was going to have like all of these people involved. I don't know that he was going to have Dexter Lumis, for example, or Joe Gacy, or Nikki Cross. I have heard that I think Gacy and Nikki were two that were on his radar. Those were two that he did like the look of and wanted to do something with. And we know he was working with Bo anyway. We know that they were reaching out to Alexa. So I'm sure that a lot of what we're seeing is stuff that Bray was going to be doing. But it's so hard to know if it's all of it, if it's half of it, if it's 70% of it. It's really hard to know. But yeah, I'm so excited for where this is going, of course, and everything is pointing to June 17th. This apparently was put out by Joe Gacy, so live shout out to you. Here's Joe Gacy putting this out on Instagram. So a picture of him arriving, if you will, making his entrance in NXT, and some smiley faces. So that at least seems like he's in a good place. And I don't know, is that just hinting that he's going to be making an entrance soon? Vicky said, I think something has happened to the therapist. She just doesn't seem normal. The tilt smile. And what if the ring door is to do with Erick? As in the journal, it says, he knows the way. I'll be waiting. So I'm thinking it's Erick that's going to turn up on the doorbell stream. I think that's a great shout. There is another theory as well, that actually what we're doing is we're working down the list. So if that was Nikki Cross that we went and got the other day, which that's been thrown into doubt now. But if it was, then that's a tick. We've got her, right? Next up, we're going for Rowan, who we believe this note was to him, right? The one called Truncheon, we believe, was addressed to Rowan. And then after that, we think we will move on to Prey, who we think this note was for Dexter Lumis. And then we'll move on to Joe Gacy, which was Spark, right? So people are fitting the current people in the group into this, like Nikki Cross, Erick Rowan, Dexter Lumis, Joe Gacy, right? People are also fitting the puppets. Abby the Witch, Mercy the Buzzards, Ramblin' Rabbit, and Huskus, right? Now, I think people would love for the puppets to take a human form and actually compete. That's something that seems to be a theory that keeps popping up. You know, the puppets coming alive. That's something that was mentioned quite a bit during White Rabbit. And we did see them come alive. They were in the arena, right? But they weren't like permanent characters. They were obviously just there to kind of help make Bray's return bigger, right? But people, I think, would be interested in seeing those characters kind of like branch out and become wrestlers and whatever. I don't know that we're going down those roads. If I'm a betting man, I'm saying it's not the direction that we're going to go, just because I haven't seen anything kind of hint that that's the road that we're going down. But people do love that theory and that thought. So, yeah, I think Erick being next, that would fit with that as well. Feed Your Head said, in the last stream we had on Twitch where he was writing notes, just before the music turns on, you can hear some muffled screaming. It happens twice. There's also a freckle on the right hand finger. Might be worth taking a listen. You can hear it. We heard it. It sounded like we thought the therapist had been kind of captured and tied up. And so I think like as they're writing, they sort of stop and seem to get even distracted by it. So, yeah, and I think it happens throughout the video as well. I think there's other bits where there's noise and shuffling, and there's clearly, like, something happening. And the thought was that it was the therapist that had been tied up. Obviously, we haven't made any progress with that. But I've not seen anyone mention a freckle on the right hand, one of the fingers. I mean, I'm sure that people will be now breaking out pictures so that they can compare the hands and whatnot. But that is definitely something that could be explored. I still think it was Howdy that wrote those letters, but there's a lot of people out there thinking it's Alexa that wrote those letters. I'm still leaning towards it being Howdy, but like most things, I've got an open mind on it. Tracy Rhodes said, Daze, in the words of the great John Lennon, I am he as you are me, and we are all together. The walrus is the therapist in this case. Bray Red is communicating through the mirror. Well, I don't really have a great understanding of I Am the Walrus, to be honest, by the Beatles. It's a trippy song which, loses me, to be honest. In regards to the mirror, Bray using the mirror to communicate is a very interesting thought, because people thought that mirror looked like Bray. So Bray using the mirror to communicate is an interesting thought. I don't know what he's communicated using the mirror yet, though. So, again, there's a lot of interest around the mirror. And it is worth remembering as well that if we actually go back to one of the previous QR codes, there is a picture of the mirror. So the mirror, I've got it here. The mirror did feature. So, and we never worked out why. We still never worked out what they're trying to tell us with this. Lots of theories about 525, theories about this being crown molding. Could that have been something to do with King and Queen of the Ring? Theories to do with this bow, relating to Bo Dallas, right? Which it could be that simple. Sometimes we do really dig into things. When it could be something super obvious, super simple. But this still has not been worked out, to be honest. We still don't know quite what that is, but they did show this image of the mirror quite a while ago now, going back a good, probably a couple of weeks or so. So, yeah, the mirror, there's definitely something to that. It's definitely worth keeping an eye on that. Ads said, I think Alexa is the Nightbird. If you look at the crown that she wore when she betrayed Bray at WrestleMania 37, it's got a bat on it. Aren't bats Nightbirds? So there we go. Ads thinking that Alexa is Nightbird, thinking that was shown with the headwear that she wore at WrestleMania 37. Dash said, here's my theory. Okay. Uncle Howdy is Bo's different personality. Bo used to hear from Bray about seeing Howdy in his dreams. That was always on his mind. At a moment of loneliness, Howdy became another identity inside Bo. Yes. Howdy doesn't like it when people have to hide who they are. He wants to make sure people feel the love of a family. He wants everyone to be accepted as who they are. Revel in what you are. Bo used to go to therapy, and that's where he met Alexa. Well, she did have therapy, but she went to a different therapist. We know the therapist we saw works from home as well. So... okay. That's where Howdy also sees his partner for his plans. We saw Howdy going behind Bray and Alexa, telling revel in what you are, and he got her on sides. Now these two are trying to help others who are alone. So Rowan, Nikki, Lumis, Gacy, they're the ones that were in the cave. The cave is not physical. It's in the mind. All of them lost their friends and families. That's how they got trapped in the cave of loneliness. Howdy and Alexa are bringing them out of the cave by showing love, by showing them who they are. Now they all have a family that has their back, no matter What? So that from Adersh. I mean, what I would say by reading that from Adersh is like how positive that perspective is. And again, it does sort of make you think, what's their purpose going to be when they come in? The other thing as well is that when it is all about having family and feeling loved, you look at it and go, why did they kidnap the therapist? And people have said, well, you know, maybe she went freely. But then the question is, well, what was that noise during the note writing then, if she went of her own accord? Because that sounded like a struggle. It does sound like a muffled struggle. And the only theory that really fits is that that is the therapist. So it's really tricky, to be honest. It's really tricky putting all the pieces together. I do agree, though, with Adersh that I think that Nikki and all of those are the ones that are in the cave. I also like the idea that we're in a cave. We're in a cave. Again, none of this physical. We're not in a physical cave, but we're in a cave. We're not seeing the truth. Maybe they're coming and they're going to arrive so that they can show us the truth. And that's going to free us out of the cave as well. But I do like Alexa and Dexter and all of them being in a cave, a different cave, a cave of loneliness, as you say. Very good. Here, Liz said, the face in the shirt. I know someone said the theory that it's Pluto, but I can't find a photo of the god Pluto that comes close to this. Pluto is depicted with long curly hair and a beard. Yeah, I've got my theory on it, and to be honest with you, I haven't had a chance to find the picture. I don't know if there's an illustration of Plato's cave. It's the one that they did at the very start. It's the image that they used right at the start of the QR code campaign, and I haven't seen it for a while, to be honest. It was the artwork that was like this, if you remember. But it was that one. That's the one that I always kind of thought it was. I don't know if there's a slightly different one outline to this. I don't know if this is the one that Bray... No, that's the one Bray used. That's the one that was used. That's the one I believe it to be. And actually, I'm sort of comparing them now, and it looks pretty good. Don't know where that image went. That's pretty good. Yeah, where did that image go? View spoiler. Read more. There it is. That's what I've always believed it to be. This was one of the first images that was shown. So here you can see comments from like a month ago. So, yeah, I think there's a good chance. If you stare at that silhouette and then go to that silhouette, I think there's a good chance that they are the same. The only thing is the nose may be a little bigger. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. The hair looks to be the same. The hair looks to be the same. So I would say the hair is the same. Because you can see like a little bit come here and then a little bit flick up there. So you've got this and then you got that. And then if you look at here, look, you've got this and then you've got that. So the hair looks, and there was some stuff here as well. So that's what I've always been under the impression that it was. I'm still sticking with that at the moment until I see a better theory. I'm looking for ones that, yeah, that was, I saw this as well, but because this wasn't Alexa, or we don't believe this is Alexa, I'm not sure that there's anything else hidden in the background, to be honest. So Danny said, I saw her looking and listening, and then I saw the shadow of a lamb mask. I can't see it, to be honest. I can't see it. I think that's a person that she's talking to. There is someone that oh no, that's the person she's talking to. That's the person she's talking to. And there was the theory that that was Drew McIntyre. And it could have been. But yeah, I don't know. For me, this, well, because it's not Alexa, I don't think there's anything to it. I mean, to be honest with you, it might not be Alexa. It might still be a little tease that they've put in anyway, you know? So maybe we shouldn't ignore it just because it's not Alexa. So Danny's having a look. Might be worth going back and still having a little look at it. Everyone's been looking to see, is this Alexa? Is there anything else that's dotted around? Right, and what else have we got? I did try to like the ones that jumped out here. I did a post or a reply on X about Jackal MD. Egyptian god Anubis had the head of a jackal and the body of a human. He was the god of death and reincarnation. I was thinking that this could tie in somehow. Also, jackals are dogs. This could explain the dog-faced image, says Bob. Bob, shout out to you. Here's David says, I think the roles are going to be Bo, Howdy, leader, father. Gacy could be like the speaker, so the promo guy. Nikki, secrets. She's going to be sneaking around and listening. Rowan, muscle. Dexter, the silent assassin. And Alexa, another kind of co-leader, bride or mother figure. So that's how David thinks these roles of the group are going to be defined. Chanel said, I've got a theory based on the fact that we have seen writing on some of the journal entries. Just because the entries go back to 2008 doesn't mean they were written in 2008. I've had therapy and I remember you're there in the present time, but you are talking about things that happened in the past. Yeah, this kind of takes us back to yesterday when we were talking about the fact that the journal that was supposed to be from 2008, you can see indentations of the questions and answers from the therapy session. So it's very interesting that this journal that was meant to be from back in the day somehow has got indentations from a therapy session. And as we said, I think in yesterday's video, that's either a botch where they've just used the one notepad for everything to do with Nightbirds. All the notes that we've been seeing, they've just all come out of the same notepads. So it's either a botch or that journal wasn't written when they were younger. That journal was not from like 2008, 2009. I think actually here it says, I found it. I found my journal. If I go full screen again, look here. So on overlap, it said, I started keeping a dream journal, right? Don't forget, we know that this is 2008 and it goes all the way down to the modern day, right? So around here is probably 2009, 2010. You're going back like 15 years, 14, 15 years ago. So I started keeping a dream journal. I would go to sleep in my bed. I would wake up sitting at my desk, right? Next one said, I found my journal. I found my journal. I took pictures of the entries. He told me to remember who you are. So they talk of keeping a dream journal, and then they found that journal, right? And then this is where we get these pages from the journal, right? So, but these pages that have been written here, they seem to have been written, even though they're from 08, 09, 2010, right? They seem to have been written at the same time as the therapy session, because there are indentations in the pages. When you change the contrast and everything, you can see the notes of the therapy sessions. So it's very interesting. It's very, very interesting. And I don't know what we can take away from that. I don't know, like, what we can take away other than what's being said here. Just because the entries go back to 2008, it doesn't mean that they were written in 2008. So, again, I don't know what you can take away from that, but interesting. A little thread there for someone to pull on. Right, I want to have a look, see what else we've got. Obviously, we are kind of getting towards the end. We're at nearly 50 minutes, right? Mark said, in relation to this journal entry, my theory is that she is Alexa, and the Wyatt Six are waiting for her. Once Alexa walks through the door, she will be another member of the group. I think that was the accepted theory when that came out, to be honest. Kelly, we looked at that one, of course. Ken said, I'm going to keep it short. Bray and the writing team borrow a lot from horror. I have Insidious in mind for this theory. In Insidious, the protagonists enter a dream world called the Further. Entities that exist there are capable of possessing or following people back into the real world. What if Uncle Howdy lured Bray into a dream world, which Bray interpreted as Sister Abigail's cabin, and then later the funhouse? The door, also a key plot point in Insidious, may be the Lagrange point that allows these entities to enter our world through Bray Wyatt. And we have seen Lagrange point being mentioned, haven't we? Upon Bray's last return, he brought Howdy with him. Now Howdy is capable of bringing these beings into our worlds, and he is gifting them to people who feel lost. In other words, he is manipulating them into accepting this evil when they are at their lows. He is all of us. Bray was literally every character we know in the story so far. Perhaps they possessed him, and now they are free to roam under the guidance of Uncle Howdy. Ooh, mates. Look at that. Look at that. Hey, I love dropping something like that. I love reading something like that. 51 minutes into a video. So, Ken, excellent work, my friends. Excellent. And I think these, well, I don't know if we got any quoted tweets, do we? Have we got any quoted tweets? No quoted tweets. So that'll be that. This is our last one, which is good, actually, because I never want to go over an hour. So this is going to be our last one. Working on a fully fleshed out theory, but having gone through the 1119 video, I found a lot of images. The first one is the Cavebird image. There we go. So that was in the video. That was in one of the videos. And look, that looks like a giant moon there, doesn't it? That looks like a moon in the backgrounds. Again, are these water fountains with the building behind? That's a great find. I don't remember seeing this image before. So, in the 1119, I found a lot of images. The first one on the Cavebird t-shirt, but with a head side profile added in. A head side profile added in. Don't know where that is. I can't even see that one. Oh, you're saying that the t-shirt is in the shape of the head, but that's not the case with the video. I'm with you now. Right. Can't find an original for that image. I think we looked at it in the video. It's likely a crow, Blackbird's Alexa. Also, some clear shots of doors, and the bride is 100% Nikki. I think the therapist is a hook that needs exploring. Do you want to see them, meet them? It leads to her going with whoever to see them, and then reappears all happy, having to be told to remember who she is. Could she be a valet type character, as she's so heavily featured? I will add more images. So there's the image that was found. Here you can see it's being pulled down. You can see the black hair. The only thing I would say about the black hair is you can easily dye your hair. So I'm still not sure if this is Alexa or Nikki, or even the therapist. I mean, at this point, it could be revealed to be the therapist, which has been a theory that's done the rounds for a while. But here you can see that Matty versus the Worlds, saying that that's Nikki. That's an interesting image, isn't it? I've not seen that image before. Don't know what they're doing there, actually. It looks like he's holding up a picture or something and then comparing it to a child. Don't know. It's like he's looking at a picture to see if that's the same identity. That's what I get there. With an eye in the background. Interesting. My premise is the story has already unfolded. We are just seeing how and why they have come together, their motives to go after the establishment, people in power, to right wrongs, balancing good and evil. Balancing good and evil. Where did we get up to here? Alexa to appear later than the 5 and of equal power to Bo. Given the included t-shirt on WWE, maybe we get a hint or a nod to The Fiend. Also, the t-shirt with the bird on it is called Cavebird. Where does Nightbird come from? The song? Yes. Must be Alexa. Perhaps the video at Rob Fee's house that we thought was Nikki House might be something to do with the therapist who has definitely been possessed or brainwashed. Maybe that video was meant to speak to another person. Dexter, where was he born? Is he Irish? No, I don't know. He's not. I don't believe he is. One of the door. I don't know. I don't think that Dexter's Irish. That's the Irish accent is really difficult, to be honest, because there's no members in the group that really connects with, apart from Nikki, whose husband is from Northern Ireland. One of the doors appears to have a Christmas wreath on. Could this be a clue to the timeline we are looking at for letters? Invites and are coming together. We see in some of the other images that the envelopes are placed ceremoniously in some sort of bowl or plate or relic, perhaps to be burnt. Nikki is 100% the bride, right? Even has got a ring on, included a pic what she's pointing to. The last pic is just before she pulls off the veil or the hood. So, we don't have many images here. So that is the bride pointing. There is a ring, but I don't know that it'd be good if that ring could be found and it's exactly the same as a ring that Nikki Cross is wearing, you know? If that could be established, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. But I've not seen that, to be honest. But some really in-depth, interesting thoughts there from Matty versus the world. And I love the finding of that picture. I think that's really good. So there we go. There was a lot of stuff here that we didn't get a chance to get to because, to be honest with you, they were more thoughts and opinions rather than theories. So I think what we'll do is we'll do a separate video on my second channel, and that's where I'm going to go through those other things and we'll see what you lot are saying. And I think if this is something that people have enjoyed, then I think we can definitely look to run a video like this again next week and do another video like this next week. Of course, we are expecting another QR code on Friday, so that's going to give us plenty to talk about. And it'll push the story forwards. And as people make more discoveries and come out with more interesting theories, we, of course, will continue to deliver these videos. Thanks a lot for watching. Appreciate the support as always. And I hopefully will see you again next time. Bye for now.